Okay, should be a quick video. Today is Tuesday. What is it, the 8th? Something like that, 8th of June. And we've cleaned up mostly all around the perimeter here. The next couple of days they're going to be doing the waterproofing and the drainage and all the stone and backfill. We've got a kind of an updated plan for that. Our contractor had trouble with the system that we were going to use, Blue Skin, which is a popular kind of peel and stick membrane that you'd put on the whole foundation wall on the exterior as a waterproofing. But he'd been seeing it peel off and not even stick to itself very well. It's probably an application issue, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe the primer wasn't applied correctly, maybe the surface wasn't prepped correctly, but regardless, the people who he knows who've been doing it haven't had it turn out good. So I want it to turn out good. So we'd rather really do something that'll hold up a lot better. So looked around and would also like to save a little money. So we're going with kind of a spray-on application instead. Now it'll be black, but it's not just your typical black tar. It is bituminous or whatever it's called material, kind of an asphalt-based material, but it also has a little dragonfly down there on that root. I don't know if you can see it, but we've got a lot of dragonflies here. That's a shout out for Diana. Loves dragonflies. It's not just a tar product. It's not just brushing on tar. It has some polymers added. It's very elastic when it's set, and it's water activated. So they actually brush it on. Spray it on, and then roll behind it to even out the coating and get the thickness that they want. And then they mist it with water to skin the outside, and that starts the curing process. It'll also dry or draw water out from the basement wall itself, which is kind of a nice effect, but that's only while it's curing. And then it's just totally a rubberized coating that's 100% waterproof. Nice thing is that it will seal all the little cracks. Transition from footer to wall is always a tricky one with a membrane, peel and stick membrane, to get that tight. Usually you have to do like a chamfer detail, put some extra material in there so it's an even transition between your footer and your wall. I've cleaned everything up there as well, done some sweeping, and dealt with these huge piles of excess. Speaking of huge piles of excess, kind of chipped them away. Most of them were pretty shallow, not a big deal. That one right there I couldn't really budge, but the excavator will be in here doing the stone and pipe, so he will take care of that for me, scoop that out before we get going. They got to knock off all these little nubs and clean that up as well, but you can see I got 2 buckets there and a third around the corner of all the buckets that I have filled with crap from around the outside. On the inside I did a kind of a quick pass, but it needs to get swept and cleaned out as well. You can see there's piles that I had created, and the big stuff is kicked away from the footings there. But we've got another cool addition to just today. Got the bulkhead on the back of the house. Now the bulkhead was previously on this front corner. It's now going to the back corner. And there's a couple of cool things that we can see from here right off the bat. There's a gap underneath, and that's purposeful. The bulkhead itself is supported fully by the attachment points that you can see that there's kind of 4 huge bolts thrown around it there, and a tight water seal, thick bead of something. that seals it up on the sides. Now underneath, we're going to be doing foam, isolating the footing and keeping the slab warm, essentially. And so that is going to continue and be a thermal break under that that final step there. That's why you see the gap there. So foam goes under there, and then they pour on top of that to top off the slab, so that when you're done, the slab will go a couple of inches above the bottom of that last step, filling that gap in right there. So all the steps coming down are the same height, and then it'll be the same height down to the basement floor. There's also nothing, you can't like have crap fall behind the stairs, kind of the old-fashioned bulkheads that had the steps like that, made out of wood, and you know, it would be integrated as part of the foundation. It's good in theory, but it just traps stuff, so I like this setup a lot better. Let's go over and take a look at that. So yeah, everything's cleaned up. We're also having a meeting this afternoon, getting set up for kind of our regular schedule and getting the rest of the build construction schedule and documents completed. Regular visits set up for the architects and the contractors, so we'll get normal meetings going on here. I think the sun is going to wash this out a little bit, unfortunately, but this is, you can see the seal, and again the gap off of the footer. Maybe this will be easier to see on the backside. Got a gap under here. This is one precast unit, which is pretty cool. They'll backfill in here after they get that foam in place, keeping it separate, or as separate as it possibly can thermally. It's all sealed up top as well. It's caulking. And there's the cardboard that you saw on the other side. That is there for when this is all done to be, flashed out correctly. Yeah, so back here you can see it a little bit better. It's that gap underneath, and that sealant all the way up. And then we've got this situation. So clearly there's a gap, and we're going to be, again, filling that with the granite to a point, and then above the granite will be brick, and that's where we will weave in and finish the seal along the top, get that flashing detail correct. So that is all still to come. So there'll be insulation behind it, behind the brick, and the face of the brick will be flush with the face of the exterior foundation wall here, which is the same as the granite. So it'll actually get flashed in the brick up top, but it'll be sealed to the granite on the side. I don't know exactly how they'll do that. Probably just a foam backer rod and then caulking again. Get it all cleaned up. And I think we'll be painting this as well to match. I don't know if we're going to match the doors or just the trim color. Probably just the trim color. Go with a nice kind of off-white kind of color. Probably be the best way to treat it. So that is it. That's our quick video. Nice and clean back here. Even got a little fern growing down there. Maybe I'll can you even see that on camera? Maybe I'll go and grab that before we backfill here. Get that planted somewhere. Anyway, more updates to come. Should be a busy week. By Friday, I hope to have this kind of watertight, ready to backfill, maybe even backfilled. So we'll see if we can schedule everybody and get it in that time frame. Take care.